Hello viewers, been a while. Well, it's Florida and it's hot. I don't feel like working on the car much. But I've done quite a lot since our last video. So you can see here, side closeout panels are done and you can see how much rust there is because Florida is very humid. I actually made a mistake when I put these in, the top rails. I didn't realize that there's a left and right and so there's a lip that's actually supposed to, well, you can't see it from here. There's a lip that these side closeout panels mate to. Well, if you put them backwards, there's no lip there. So you can see I had to make some strips of metal so that everything could tie together. I did the passenger side first, and you know, it is what it is. You know, once that gets I used some filler, it'll be all nice and smooth, so I'm not really worried about it. They went okay. They went in okay though, even though I put them in backwards. So the project for today is to get these gaps at least sort of close. You can see here, I mean, they practically touch, where down here it's supposed to be a little bit further. I've been using that paint stick as sort of a guide. You can see with it tight there, it's just too tight, then it opens up. And then this nonsense on this side. Same deal, that's in. It's gotta be bent out a little bit. It's too tight there, it's sort of okay. Then I mean, it's just, the whole thing is so wavy, just in and out, whole way up. That has to get fixed. Doors, similar sort of thing. Like I've got this paint stick here. You can see too wide, oh, tight. So that's ideally where I want, I guess. So that means the bottom I have to remove a little metal. Then I've got to add some, right? Same thing. Too much, right about here. You can see. Now I did epoxy prime the whole underside, and it came out really good. It looks awesome. That was a hell of an experience doing that. So that's all done, that's sealed, that won't rust. So that's sort of the plan for this next video. Once I've got those gaps done, or at least closer, I can get the hood on and just see where everything is. You know, these holes here don't line up with the, at all. You know, they don't line up on either side. Like this one is tight, see? This side, there's that gap. Not sure why, but it is what it is. So, a lot of fun metal work to go. Here we go. All right, so let's see what I got done. Put headlight buckets, fenders, hood, cowl, that this middle connector thing, whatever that is. All the horizontal lines are really good. Very pleased with how they came out. You know, there's some gaps and things here, which I would assume get taken care of later with bodywork. Speaking of bodywork, I made a decision, which will save me a lot of time. So, these gaps, I've decided I am not going to mess with them at all. I had thought of, you know, welding in some rod, grinding everything smooth, yada, yada, yada. I mean, there are so many adjustments. I think I don't want to deal with it. I think I want to let a body guy do it who has lots of experience, tips and tricks, that kind of thing. I think I got the panels about 98% of where they're going to be, and the body guy will take it the next 5% to the finish line. I think like if I did something wrong with how I adjusted the door, let's say, okay, and I fix all the gaps, then I bring it to the body guy, and the whole door has to be adjusted a fraction of a, angle or something, and then guess what? All those gaps would have to be redone anyway. So I'm just not going to deal with it. Driver's side is really very tight with, minimal at the bottom. I mean, the fender can get moved in. And then up here, a little bit. Pretty surprised how well that fits, actually. The cowl, seems to fit pretty good too. The hood, I don't have the springs in and I can't quite get it to go down. Maybe the fender has to come up. I don't know. It's these things that I don't know. So I'll let body person deal with that. I really want to put my hood scoop on, so I'm going to do that. This side, you can see the gaps are not as good. The fender could probably come back, I don't know, between a 16th and an 1/8. And I think that will close up most of that. But then there's like a tight spot down here, and then it gets fatter, and then really big there. I like the old paint stick method. You get a paint stick, too thick, too thick, too thick. And then right about here is where it gets tight, and I like that gap there. So, but this, too tight, good. Too wide, too wide, too wide, too wide. I just don't want to deal with it. I think I'm over it, Back here too, you can see there's a little bit of this, which I'm sure there's an adjustment for. Both sides have that. I mean, the extensions fit incredibly well. Just metal to metal. Same thing here. Hey, honey. So what I've got to do next is I'm going to put the hood scoop on. I'm going to weld in the Mustang's Tafir the frame stiffeners, and then I'm going to grind all this paint off, everything. Grind it all off and do just like I did to the underside of the car. I'm going to paint it with that epoxy primer. I'm not going to go to the trouble of plasticking this whole workshop. That ended up being totally unnecessary because the paint was coming out a very low volume. There was almost no overspray anywhere, so I don't think I need to do that, go through all that again. But I will have the air conditioner on and then have like a puller fan in this window, so that'll help, I think, and I'll also wet the floor. But yeah, so that's sort of the next stage, is do a little more welding, grind all this paint off, spray it, and then I'm going to put the suspension, brakes, rear end, Watts link ready to go, steering column, and then I'm just gonna put it away till I've got my engine and transmission. But it's pretty amazing seeing, a car. It's really amazing. I built a car. I'll also do the front valence and the bumpers. Might as well. It'll get parts out of my shed. Give me some space. Like, I've got my welding table over here. It's just, boxes of car parts that need to go in the car. And then I'll get all this space back once I do that. So very much looking forward to having some room back. And I'll put this car in my other garage, so I'll get my workshop back, because I've pretty much had this car in here being built since the beginning of 21. So, a solid 2.5 years it's taken to get to this point, but it's been great. You know, I won't say it was easy, but it was fun. Great learning process, and you know, I literally just built a car with no experience from scratch. There we go. I'll do the next video once I've got more to report. Thank you. So I fitted the Boss 9 scoop. Looks pretty cool being on there. It just doesn't fit that good. You can see these pretty big gaps there and there. The back, I think, can be like squeezed into place, so it's you can actually get it to go flush. The studs that are in there, you can see them. They sort of just spin in place if you tighten them too much. And also, it doesn't look exactly straight. Looks like it's a little cattywampus. So I'll see what can be done about that. Either way, I'm probably going to have it molded to the hood somehow. I don't like those gaps, so we'll see. Man, it'd be really cool. Just had a thought if I could make one out of metal. I'm not that good in sheet metal yet, but maybe this will get me to try. Either way, nice progress.